when I was called up for the first game of the season, the home opener, I'd never played in front of a big crowd like that in my life. Even in college, never in front of a huge crowd. And I remember walking out of the tunnel, and we normally walk out and then you run to the balls and start passing a little bit. And I didn't touch a ball for like 5 minutes. I walked out and I just turned and looked at the Timbers Army, and I was like in shock. I was in awe. Like, just looked at them for like 5 minutes straight, didn't even touch a ball, wasn't even warming up yet, and I was just like, wow, this is unreal. I was really nervous that day, but I didn't end up playing that day, but I was freaking nervous.
Gage Guerra with a quality strike. Gage Guerra!
Yeah, I think each level prepared me in different ways for where I'm at now. I think being in college for 4 years at 2 different schools really taught me a lot of lessons. The college game is very physical, and it's very intense and high speed all the time. A lot of running, a lot of pressing, and that kind of got me physically ready for this level. And then once I was drafted and went back down to T2, I kind of learned more of that tactical side of the game and was able to combine both strengths, I think, and that's what really propelled me in a way that I was able to make the jump quickly from super draft to T2 to the first team now.
Yeah, we try to make the most with the minutes we get, so coming in making a difference all I can ask for.
The biggest thing that I think I reiterated it even in that interview after the game back then was that we had to make the most with the minutes that we got. That carried me into the season when, even with T2, with the minutes I got, I tried to make the most of them. And then once I got my chance and got called up for the Open Cup and got in for those 10 minutes, the exact same situation as preseason, I made the most of it and took my chances, and that showed a lot. It showed a lot of focus on my end and a lot of belief in myself to, even though it's only 10 minutes, to think like I can make a difference.
He was really good. We've been impressed with him in pre-season, and he has got a lot to learn. There's days when he's really good, and there's days when he's a little bit inconsistent. But we believe in this kid.
Yeah, it means more than they probably realize, to be honest, especially for a guy that, my journey was very different. I wasn't highly recruited out of high school, and then went to a smaller Division I, and then wasn't the starter there. Had to work my way up, and then had a really good sophomore season, opened up doors in the portal, and then I was finally the guy for a little bit, and then once you get drafted, you're not the guy anymore. You're just a guy that's on the roster that's grinding to get to that position. So to hear those things about me is really it's really motivating, and it's really uplifting, especially because it's hard to make those jumps that quickly, and there's days when I struggle internally, and I'm thinking, you question, you always doubt, am I good enough, am I prepared, and then to see interviews with Phil or with the other staff members, or when they tell you messages that they believe in you, they think you can compete against the 2 guys, that you can beat them out for a spot, that's huge. That means so much. My heart was racing. I was on the touchline. I think we were down 2-0, so I'm trying to make a difference. I'm trying to be amped up, but also calm and composed, and I wasn't that at all. I was my heart was racing. I was I couldn't really breathe after a little bit. I remember going out there, and they told me just run, just run your heart out, and I made 2 runs and tracked back, and it had been 5 minutes, and I was gassed. I'm sitting there breathing so hard, and I was let me calm down a second. I'm in the game. I'm here right now. I'm in the arena. Let me just calm myself down, and I've done this my whole life. I've played soccer my whole life. So after I did that, I think I made all the games following that a lot easier. Not as I wasn't as nervous for those, but yeah, I didn't handle it well, and then I handled it well after. So.
Made his MLS debut off the bench in Toronto, making his 2nd appearance in his Providence Park first team debut today.
It was awesome. My parents were there for that. Actually, they came out. They were and if there's a slim chance you get in, we're coming. So they were able to come out. So it was a special moment. Yeah, there's nothing like it. I think the environment here and the fan base is unmatched. So it was an amazing experience.